This is Rock and Roll Grad School with your hosts, Heidi Hedquist and Luke Poling. They're available for birthday parties and dirty deeds done dirt cheap.
Hello, kiddies. We are going to have a real good time together. We are talking with Josh from the one and only Buckcherry.
Yes.
It was a fun one.
It was a fun one.
Even though I did use the phrase phoning it in when talking about live performances, which that's on me.
You did.
Poor choice of words. That's not what I meant, but
it's okay. But you got it back.
I think we recovered. You covered for me.
We tried.
I think
remember that.
Yeah. Oh, that you remember. That's yeah, not the rest of the interview. Just
No, I remember the interview. I found it quite delightful.
They have a new record out Friday called Volume 10.
Yes.
We get into all the details about the title.
Mm-hmm.
And then other things going on in the music world that I think we need to discuss, albeit briefly. Two pieces of news, both about former guests and both good news about former guests.
I like it.
So how often does that happen?
Quite often, actually. So
yeah, it's true.
To be
it does. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. First up, Joe Troman from Fall Out Boy.
Yes.
Who said he was taking time off, like a mental health break, so he could stay healthy. He is back in the band officially.
Nice.
He apparently posted on Facebook that he is back and looking forward to the summer tour.
Love it.
And then secondly, closer to home, since he's based in LA, our friends in Muzzins have posted, they just played a live set at the Paradise, which is a nice, famous club in Boston. They have posted on their website on Tuesday, so 24 hours ago, if you're listening to this on Wednesday, 48 if Thursday, they have posted their entire live set from that show.
Ooh.
Fully edited, mixed, everything. They are at youtube.com/@Muzzins. And I just had it on prior to you coming on the call, and it's lovely. It's everything we love about them.
Excellent.
There's some bass, there's some drums, there's a melodica. That's great. There's masks, there's everything you want out of a band.
Everything good. I like it.
So that are two things you can do now. Go see Fall Out Boy, and in the interim, listen to Muzzins.
I mean, that seems like a pretty good day.
Yeah, and if you're waiting for Muzzins to load, you could listen to this show.
You could.
I mean, you don't have to.
Go pick up your new Buckcherry album on Friday.
This is true. Yes. Synergy.
We get it all. Look at that. We can like plan a week for somebody just like that.
I know. It's excellent.
Good.
Congratulations on the record.
Thank you. Cheers. Yes, yeah. It's a good one. We're really excited for it to be out finally.
How'd you come up with the title?
Excuse me?
How'd you come up with the title?
Oh, how do we come up with the title?
With you.
Yeah.
Luke did well in math.
There was actually a different title, and then we finally, came to we wanted it to be something in regards to 10, but we originally were going to call the record Sienna because it was the name of the studio that we recorded it in, but it just didn't sit well over time, and so we went with Volume 10.
And 10 albums, that's a really nice body of work to have under your belts. And do you enjoy going into the studio more now, or is it still kind of not nuts about this?
Oh no, I loved making a record. I love making something from nothing. It's still very exciting for me. I'm a student of the game to this day. I'm always learning more about melody and lyric writing, and more about my voice and my range. And that's why I got into this when I was 15. So yeah, it's we've done a lot, and we're 24 years in this game and still doing it, and something to be grateful for sure.
Definitely.
Well, It's a party. So everything, the songs we've been listening to, all I'm doing is just rocking out all day, wanting to be at all the parties, wanting to be in the videos, wanting to wake up in the cloud of smoke and rocking out, even if there are zombies there. Checking out the Boy Howdy Crew
Yeah.
magazine t-shirt is a very excellent nod to, as a Detroiter, makes it my favorite. But
Right.
it takes me back to my many years ago party girl days when you guys were first getting started and rocking out to your songs back then. It takes you
Yeah.
back. It's not so serious, you know? The
Yeah, and
world's
I'm
gotten so
glad because,
serious.
we dropped Hellbound a couple of years ago, and it was a very serious time, and the
Right.
record reflected that, and it's a great record, but now
course.
it's time to cut loose. The pandemic is over, and it's time to go out and shake your ass and have a good time at a rock show.
Exactly. This is
Let's
what I'm
go.
saying. Please, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm there.
It's interesting
Wonderful.
that was your takeaway, because there are certain tracks. There's 2 or 3 on the record that, and I mean this as a compliment, so I hope you take it that way. Some of the drums on this record sound like they're off of Aerosmith's Permanent Vacation.
That's great. It's
I was just like,
great compliment.
You guys got that sound. Like it's
Yeah, that's
it was
all Marty
mind-blowing.
Yeah, that's Marty Fredrickson, our producer, and basically I like to call him our 6th band member when we do records together, because we co-write a lot of songs with him, and he always does a great job. Marty is multi-talented musician, but his main instrument, what he started on, was the drums. So he really understands what he wants to get out of our drummer Francis Ruiz, and sounds, and all of that. So it's pretty cool that you picked up on that.
Yeah, it was just like like Heidi said, it took me back, where I'm just like, I remember playing these records over and over, and you get that drum sound, and there's just a warmth, but you could hear the hit of the snare. Like it's that warm bath of a record where you put it on, you're just like, oh, I'm comfortable now. This is what I'm like enjoying.
Yeah,
So,
cool.
and there's some other sounds too. I mean, that the opening track on the album, it's a little more the a cappella kind of rhythm you got going on there too. You guys are still trying stuff out and messing around with things, even this long and this far into your career, which is also kind of cool too.
Yeah, you're talking about This or That, and that's a great song. Kind of's got an Aerosmith feel, and we just thought it was a good song to kind of ease into the record because it's so deep, with tracks. And yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's a different way for us to start a record, so glad you picked up on that.
And do you guys, how much, it sounds like you do a lot of the writing in the studio, or do you come in with ideas? You come in with stuff?
No, we get everything ready to go. We go in for these like guerrilla songwriting sessions in Nashville with Marty, so it's me, Stevie, and Marty. Stevie, our guitar player, and Marty Fredrickson. And we wrote like 8 songs in like 8 days. That's how quick we write songs together. And
wow.
And then, Stevie and I had written a lot of songs prior to going in with Marty, and then we had some spillover from the Hellbound sessions. So we had a lot of songs to sift through, and it all worked out. I think all the songs that we wrote with Marty all made the record. That's how good they are.
That's got to be a good feeling.
Sorry.
No, I was gonna say that's got to be a great feeling going in with so much stuff, where you're like, we get our pick of the litter. We can set stuff aside, let it marinate a little bit longer, and save it for the next record or something.
We're always working that muscle. We put out records every 2-3 years. So I like to be very efficient with our time, especially when we have to go to Nashville because we live in LA and we're paying for it, and it's like I want to squeeze every second out of those sessions, and so we had this assembly line process where I would go in the mornings for 2.5 hours, and I would record a song, vocals and melodies and everything, and then I would come back to the hotel, and Stevie and Marty would get together and they would work on a new musical composition. Then they would send it to me by like 5 p.m. and then I would write lyrics all night, and then come in the next day and sing on that song, and then they would write a new song later on, and so on. And that's how we do it.
Wow.
You make it sound so easy.
Yeah.
Nobody can, like, to be able to do all that and have that all work and have it all actually be good.
I was gonna say the quality of the music too,
That's
and the lyrics.
insane.
Well, when you're in the studio with Marty, Marty's writing songs with artists. That's his job. That's all he does. So he goes from us to another artist, and so we are really in tune to that, and we want to bring our A game every time we kind of work up to getting in the studio with Marty. So Stevie and I are writing songs together all the way up until that moment where we're in Nashville. So we're already kind of in the rhythm of trying to find the best stuff. And all three of us, when we get together, are always searching for the best stuff for the song and whatever serves the song the best. And so there's like this mutual respect, and so it becomes very efficient, and we trust each other, and that's really important when you're writing songs. So we have a formula, we have a chemistry. This isn't the first record that we've done together. So yeah, I told Marty, I was like, I want to write a song. I want to write a complete record in 2 weeks, 14 days, no stopping, no breaks, no days off, and just get it done. And he's like, we can't do that. We got to have days off. We're not going to do that. I'm like, okay, I'm saying we can do it, and then so cut to, that was a conversation I had with him on Hellbound. And then we came to Nashville for the volume 10 sessions, and he's like, you know what? We can do it. We could do a record in 2 weeks. I'm like, yeah, we can,
Seriously.
So maybe we'll get to do that someday.
Artists everywhere are cursing you right now because they're all like, I don't care how much.
I just like, I like to put ourselves in a pressure situation, because that's where like magic happens, because
I agree with that.
Because every day we're waking up and it's just like not stopping till this is amazing,
How does your voice, obviously on the road, you're playing, a ton, but how do you keep your voice? Because your records and your vocals in particular, they go hard. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And that's like one of the trademarks of Buckcherry Records is that voice.
Yes, sir. And you know what? Sometimes it's a liability, and sometimes it's and sometimes it's an asset. I work really hard on everything in the voice department. Vocal technique, warming up, warming down, what I eat, getting lots of rest. All these things are really important to have consistency. And if you do all that, you're going to be all right. As long as you're singing properly, and I'm 52, and it's like,
wow.
When I hit like 40, I was like, man, this is like a lot harder than it used to be, So you gotta work harder the older you get, and I think some singers get in a rut where they don't want to talk. They don't want to do anything until they sing, and then all of a sudden they're struggling to, have a voice after like 3 shows or whatever. And I try to tell singers like, no, you need to do the opposite.
Right.
You need to be like, when I'm not singing, I'm vocalizing. So I'm vocalizing every day, so every day I'm doing scales or doing something to where I'm continuing to remain flexible, to always be thinking about pitch and, going through vocal scales. And then when I actually sing, I warm down after I sing, which is very important. And a lot of singers don't do that. And that's where you can get into trouble too.
Yeah. So, you literally work that muscle every day.
I do.
Yeah.
Well, that's hard. That's hard for anybody, but to have such a rock and roll voice and be able to incorporate all that vocal technique. I've got years of classical training under my belt. My mom's an opera singer, oh
wow, that's cool.
So knowing what you have to do to incorporate those two worlds and make it work, that's astonishing, because a lot of people can't do it. A lot of rockers are just like, nope, not doing it. It doesn't work.
I only got to this place. I only got to this place in my life from doing it all wrong, for a lot of years, especially when I was young. I put my voice through hell, and did a lot of things I didn't need to do, and I was reckless, and so thank God, I'm still here after all this time, but I had to learn a lot of things over the years to get my act together,
Oh, and I
Still
think
wail.
yeah, I was gonna say you hear that in the records. There's that great balance between the the lit up type songs and then the sorry, that there is that balance, that yin yang lyrically of
Yes.
trying to have a good time, but also being accountable in some ways for
Yeah.
that good time, what comes out of that. It's interesting to hear you say that, like, that's the way you've had to treat your voice, because I mean, that balancing act seems to be throughout the record, throughout your career, just everything is that balance of keeping everything in the proper place in a way.
Yes. When I go on the road, I flip the switch. As soon as I get on the road, I'm like, okay, I'm no longer just a human being. I am now an instrument. I have to think about my voice like all the time and what I'm doing for my voice to be the most consistent I can be while I'm out here. Because you see a week of Buckcherry shows, and sometimes it can be 6 shows in a week, sometimes 5 shows. And like, I'm not a young man anymore, and these are very vocally demanding songs, so I did not set myself up really well for the later years of my life, but yeah, so it's just all about that.
Do you have that vibe, the Dylan, I was so much older than I'm younger than that now, of like what I could tell myself, at 25,
Oh
at
God,
20, as I'm writing these songs?
I wish I, could have done that. Things would have been so much different for me at this point, but it is what it is. You can't have regrets. You can only like, just continue to learn, and that's it. Life is just, it's a journey, so, you got to just kind of, assess and reassess, and get better and be a student of the game.
Would
The
you have
other
listened to yourself at 25 if you could have told
No.
yourself? Yeah. So
No, that's the thing, I mean, that's what I would have told myself is like, you need to be a little more open-minded than you are, because I wasn't open-minded. I thought I had it all figured out, like, most of us when we're younger,
right.
Yeah. One of the other things that's great on the record is that it has you end with the cover of Summer of '69 by Bryan Adams.
Yeah.
Which one, I feel like there's always that rumor of what the song's really about. And listening to the Bryan Adams version, you're like, did he know? Did he not know? Listening to the Buckcherry version, you guys knew.
Of course they.
But yeah, but then the fact that, like, going through your catalog, there's so many great covers. The Highway Star is wonderful. The fact that you guys did, I love it, and that version warms
Yes.
my heart to
Yeah.
no end with the number of
Yeah.
times I've heard that on YouTube videos that my kids are watching.
Yeah. It's we changed it to
So
say
great.
outfit,
Just a little
Yes,
bit.
but it's
Just
which is how it should be. I'm sorry, but it is how it should be.
yeah, that song was written by 3 songwriters, so it took us a long time to get them to sign off on that, and they finally did, and we were like, yes.
Oh,
So what made you choose, to add Bryan Adams in Summer '69 to this,
Yeah,
repertoire.
roster?
the whole story behind that is like, first and foremost, I think every musician has a song where they wish they would have written that song. Maybe they have a lot more than just one song, but that's a song I just think is perfect. It reminds me of my youth, of summertime in Southern California. I mean, all the lyrics in that song just touch me in such a way, and to top it off, it's perfectly written and the melodies are so great, so all that being said, we used to like just throw it out there live occasionally to have fun,
Mhm.
we're on the road a lot, and sometimes we need to just throw a cover out just to kind of break up the monotony of, just being on the road for as long as we are. So we did it, and one time our manager was there and he saw it and he's like, this is fucking great. You guys gotta you gotta record this. And we're like, okay, yeah, we'll do it. That'd be fun. And didn't think anything of it, right? And so cut to we're writing all these songs, and he just keeps hammering us. And that was the last song we recorded at the end. And it was just originally going to be like a bonus track. And, we speed it up a little bit. So it's a little faster than the original. And then, we throw our little Buckcherry, little
Cherry
secret
on
sauce
top.
on there. And all of a sudden
Spread it over.
A little bit.
yeah, then now it just sounds like a Buckcherry song, a ripping Buckcherry song. And everybody heard it and loved it. Our manager, Marty and the band, and we were just like, it's got to be on the record. We'll just put it on at the end. And now everybody's loving it. They're talking about it. So we may do a video for it. I don't know. There's talk of that. So we'll see.
I'm
And it's
clearly
gotta be-
obsessed with the videos. So yes, you
Yeah.
need to do a video
Yeah.
for it.
Well, and it's
Yeah, it'd be a good one.
doing these songs and breaking them down, like you said, like that's just such a classic, and it's such a just well-worn, well-constructed song that you can take a baseball bat to that thing and it's still going to hold up and just be a really great song. When you're covering these things, do you kind of go, oh, like does something click when you're looking at it and playing it over and over, where you're going, oh, I see what they did there, and that's what makes it brilliant?
No, I mean, listen, I've been doing this since I was 15, right? And when you start writing songs, you cannot listen to music the same as like the normal person anymore. It becomes, even when you're dancing or you're at a club, you are analyzing the arrangement, the lyrics, the melodies, the music, how they're putting it together. You're constantly just like, and it doesn't matter what genre of music, I'm just like always paying attention to all that. That's why I like to put on instrumental music sometimes, just because I don't want to think about like all of that. I just want to relax, and not think
Right.
about the song, because it's so ingrained in me that I can't listen to music like normal anymore. So yeah, that was one of those songs that was just like, I would just be like, every time I hear it, I'm like, man, every situation in this song, the band and the guys leaving the band, and your your high school sweetheart or whoever, some girl that you fell in love with in school, and that whole thing. And, it's just like such an amazing topic, and really cool. It really paints a picture in 3 minutes, and so I would always just, every time I listen to it, I'd be like, damn, I love this song, and so, had to do it. And because when you're feeling that connected to a song as a singer, you can sing it very passionately, like you own it, like you wrote it, and that's the whole motivation when recording covers. If you're not passionate about it, there's no reason to do it,
And it's cool too, because it's like you said, that little special sauce on top. It always drives me crazy, and it's a lot of bands I adore when they cover a song and they either change it so much that it's not the song anymore, or they do
that it
such
sucks.
right, or they do such an exact replica that it also isn't the song anymore. So having that, walking that balance of like adding your little bit, still honoring the history of the song, so having it have everything it has, it's a really hard line. It's got to be a really hard line to walk.
It's very delicate, and you don't want to, like you said, take away from the integrity of the song. And I mean, and I feel like we did it just like, I think I'm hoping that if Bryan Adams heard it, that he would be pleased. If that happens, then it's like, yes, you know.
He's got to be.
He's got to be.
Yeah. It gets the root of the song. It gets the reason of it. So you guys are heading out on tour this summer with a damn good lineup. You guys, Skid Row, and then Kurt Deimer, who we've talked to, who's great too.
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
A little fun night of music.
Skid Row's got that new singer, Eric, and he's really great and really nice person on top of it, and they've got so many great songs. You forget how many great songs they got until you do some shows with them. And you're like, damn, they got so many hits, So that's a lot of fun. And all those shows are selling out. We did already one leg with them, and it was so good that we did leg 2 and leg 3. So we have 3 legs now. So we're going out on the second one here in a week, and then we're going to do a third one. And now there's talk of a 4th one. So we'll see, we're going to be all sick of each other, at the end of that.
Well, playing on a bill like that with a a band as good as you guys and a guy like, you guys can hold each other accountable. Is it harder sometimes to sort of, you can't necessarily phone it in, that those guys are going to come out and kick your ass if you don't? That's got to be a good.
I never ever phone it in. There's none
Yeah,
of
you
that
don't.
going on,
I can't imagine. Based on our conversation, if you said you phoned it in, I would feel like we had to hang up because everything you said is you do not know how to phone it in.
Yeah,
Well,
there's none of that.
But is there a level of like, we got to deliver it and then some, because
I mean,
these guys we got to look these guys.
I think you think that when you start, and then you just fall into your rhythm, because that's what you got to do. They have their rhythm of how they do their show day, and then we have ours, and that's it. You just want to be consistent and great every night. And our focus is the people who are paying, the people who are spending their money to come to a show. That's all I think about, is like, I just want to do the best I can for our time on stage. And that's all you can control,
Is there anything in particular, any of the tracks you're really looking forward to playing on the stage, and kind of, because I mean, you said you've done some legs, so I'm assuming you've kind of
like we just started doing right before we got off the last run we did. We started incorporating Feels Like Love and Pain, and they are like really great moments of the set, and they really bring a lot to the overall catalog, of music that we have. So there is not a stinker in our set, and I'm like really grateful for that. It took us a long time to get there to where I felt like we had like an arena set where we could rotate songs, and every song was a single, and we're there. So I'm excited.
That's got to be wonderful. And again, listening to the record, there's so many tracks where you're like, this could easily slot in with any of the other stuff from past records, that it's of that quality, and it just feels like the continuation.
Well, it's cool because it has its own, like, obviously it's their own original songs, and they're not duplicates. But like Luke's saying, when I just first started listening to them, like, I felt like I already knew them. Like, I was already dancing to them, not because I'd heard them before, but because it just fits the vibe. Like, I imagined the movie montage and what I'd be doing while I was, rocking out. And so it does, it just like they layer right into the narrative. So
that's good. I think that's a sign of a good song. If that's what it's doing for you, right out of the box, then I'm happy.
Volume 10, the new album by Buckcherry, is available this Friday, June 2nd. For more information, for tour dates, for VIP info, and so much more, check out their website, buckcherry.com.
You can check us out on all the various socials. Be sure to visit our website at rockandrollgradschool.com, and don't forget to leave us a review.
Today's show is produced by myself and Heidi Hedquist. Our reluctant producers are John Sauvé and Sandy Stone. Our willing producers are Rachel Allen and Randy Jeanette. Our intern is Zach Jackson. This one's for Philippe. Thank you, good night, and may all your favorite bands stay together.
You can see what I don't see.